Okay, so ready? Let's do some examples of using the divergence test. Okay, so let's look at the first one. So we want to look at the nth term, right? So that's a sub n, so we want to look at the nth term form. So notice that if we look at this, where does this go to? Okay, so that we want the limit as n approaches infinity of n over 3n minus 1. Okay, now, where does this thing go to? Well, remember, look at the functions, right? So we can look at a function, right? So this would be the same as the limit as x approaches infinity of x over 3x minus 1, right? So this is a function where this has the same values of this. And remember, we can multiply, or excuse me, divide the top and the bottom by the largest exponent of x. And so what do we get? We get the limit as x approaches infinity of what? We get x over x divided by 3x over x minus 1 over x. Right? And so what happens to all of these? Well, this goes to the limit, right? This is the limit as x approaches infinity of what? You get 1 over 3 minus 1 over x. And of course, as x goes to infinity, that fraction, 1 over x, is going to 0. And so what do we get? We get 1/3. Now, 1/3 is not equal to 0. So again, so by the divergence test, if the nth term, the limit of the nth term, does not go to 0 or does not exist, then the series diverges. And so in this case, we know that this series diverges now. Okay, now what about this one? Well, let's look at the nth term. Right, well, this is 1 over n cubed, right? So the limit of 1 over n cubed, right? Well, it's obvious that what? 1 over n cubed approaches 0 as n approaches infinity, right? So now again, so this is, in this case, the divergence test would be inconclusive, right? So we can't say anything about divergence or convergence. All we know is if it doesn't go to 0, if the limit doesn't go to 0, or if the limit does not exist, then we can say that the series must diverge. But if it does go to 0, we don't know. Okay? Okay, so now the last one. Let's look at this one. So what about this one? So we have the limit as n approaches infinity of what? E to the 1 over n squared. Well, as this gets larger and larger, where is this fraction going? N is going to infinity, so this is going to 0, so e to the 0, right? So this is going to e to the 0, which equals 1, which is not equal to 0. Therefore, by the divergence test, this series diverges. And that's it. Have a great day.